the heartbeat of nursing, from little n to big N. Before Maya ever clipped a badge to her chest, she carried her little n. This was her essence, the empathy she learned from her grandmother and the quiet resilience she found in late-night study sessions. It was her personal why, a unique collection of values that whispered, "I am here to help." At 27, she looked at her blue scrubs in the mirror, wondering how her individual spirit would fit into the vast, ancient world of nursing. On her first day at the hospital, Maya met Evelyn. Evelyn was the embodiment of the big N, the collective professional identity of millions who had come before. "Your little N is your fuel, Maya," Evelyn said, guiding her through the bustling hallways. "But the big N is your compass. It is our shared ethics, our history, and our standard of excellence. Today, we begin to weave them together." The first time Maya witnessed a birth, the little N and big N collided in a surge of emotion. In the delivery room, her values and ethics were no longer abstract concepts. She advocated for the mother's wishes while maintaining the clinical precision the profession demanded. As the first cry echoed through the room, Maya realized that her personal warmth was the vessel through which professional care was delivered. Transitioning to the high-stress environment of the emergency room tested her knowledge and practical execution. It wasn't enough to care. She had to act with clinical mastery. Maya learned that Big N identity is built on the bedrock of continuous learning. Each IV started and each monitor interpreted was a stitch in the fabric of her professional branding, the brand of Maya, the reliable clinician. One chaotic Tuesday, a trauma arrived, and the air in the ER turned electric. Evelyn watched as Maya stepped forward, not with hesitation, but with professional comportment. She moved with an authentic confidence that didn't need to shout to be heard. This was the shift. She was no longer just a person in scrubs. She was a nurse, a vital part of a life-saving machine. Leadership, Maya discovered, wasn't about a title. It was about the nurse as leader domain. During a lull in the chaos, she noticed a flaw in the supply intake process and suggested a streamlined fix. She was no longer just following orders. She was contributing to the improvement of the profession itself. Evelyn nodded in approval, seeing the big N rising within her protégé. Professional branding became Maya's strategy for growth. She realized that how she presented herself, her comportment, her communication, and her reliability defined her space in the hospital hierarchy. She curated her professional identity with the same care she gave her patients, ensuring that the brand of Maya stood for both heart and high-level skill. Years passed, and the cycle of mentorship turned. Maya found herself standing where Evelyn once stood, greeting a new graduate named Leo. She saw the little N in his nervous smile and the big N in the way he clutched his clipboard. The secret, she told him, is not to lose yourself in the profession, but to let the profession elevate who you already are. Maya and Evelyn sat in the break room, the sunset painting the walls in orange hues. They were two generations of the big N, bonded by shared trauma and shared triumphs. Maya realized that her little N, her grandmother's empathy, hadn't disappeared. It had become the heartbeat of her professional identity, making the big N feel personal and alive. As Maya walked to her car after a long shift, she felt the weight of her identity. She was Maya, the gardener and the friend, but she was also Maya, the nurse. The little N and the big N were no longer separate. They were a single, steady pulse. She was the heartbeat of the hospital, a proud bearer of a legacy that would continue long after her final shift.